It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Yeah. No fear here and Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. But we're going to be talking with Rob Braxman. We should be relatively concerned. Yep. You know, I mean, there's some stuff happening. Now, this is what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and talk about how we can maintain some privacy on the internet, if that's even freaking possible. That's my first question. You know, Alt Tech, the internet privacy guy, Rob Braxman, public interest hacker and technologist. He uses his extensive knowledge of cybersecurity and tech to serve the public good. He cares about privacy. He wants to warn you of digital manipulation, disinformation, mass surveillance. He also discusses alternative communication modes, especially with a prepper focus, as we have done here. He discusses ham radio, SDR, QRP modes, whatever that means. He'll tell us digital modes when running portable. Okay, portable. We have a BraxX phone. Well, what good does that do me in my bug out bag now? We're going to find out. He as a general class licensed ham radio operator, he's a successful software architect and built many enterprise systems. He also has an open source social media app at brax.me, MEBRAX.me. Now, let's go ahead and say hello to Rob Braxman. He's been on the show quite a few other times, but we haven't talked in a while, and it is time. Say good morning to the audience, will you, Rob?
Well, hello. Good morning. Is it morning for me, I guess?
Yeah, we're 11. Now that changes. Arizona doesn't change time, so it's screwed. It keeps changing every 6 months, so I'm all screwed up. But one thing that I wanted to make sure, let's just get right to it. When you came out with the BraxX phone, it was time for us to have an alternative communication for when things get bad, that I have the ability to communicate. I at least, get a Wi-Fi signal, or, SIM cards is not a thing anymore. We have Starlink, we have, and a lot of our computers are Linux, and we do have Windows for operating a lot of other programs and stuff we got to do. But I'm getting the feeling that you're getting the feeling that they got you, or you got to go to extraordinary measures. Just how surveilled are we?
Well, you're right. The change is happening primarily in the operating systems in practically every device. So this actually started. I issued the warnings about a year ago about the AI companion. This is what they're putting into Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Google, Android, which is basically everything. So that's, all of the popular operating systems are having this thing. It's called embedded AI. So the idea of this embedded AI is that it's an AI companion. And this changes the way we use computers because now we're saying that you're going to put the brain in the device itself so that the brain of the device is watching you all the time. And that's just not acceptable to me. For example, everyone is aware now that on Windows 11, there's a program called Windows Recall, and it's taking a screenshot every 3 seconds. I mean, come on. Do I have to go give you a long explanation of what that means? Every 3 seconds, it's taking a screenshot. Then people would say, well, that's impossible. It can't store that many screenshots, going to run out of space. No, you're kind of missing it. The AI evaluates the screenshots, stores what it sees as information as text, and then deletes the screenshot. It doesn't need to keep the screenshots. So this is unlimited space. It doesn't need to run out of space to do this.
Okay, wait a minute. It's taking a screenshot, and then character analysis. It just like copy and paste it into a note.
Beyond that, it can read the text. It's basically like a human's eyes.
Right.
It knows what apps you're running on screen. Oh, you're using Signal. Oh, I can see that. And this is the message you typed on Signal. Oh, I see you are going to your bank, and your bank is Bank of America. I see that, and there's your balance. Oh, I see you're going to this political website. Oh, good. And I now your political beliefs. I see you on Amazon. You're shopping for, this
whatever
device. And
well, this is one thing that I kept saying. I'm going, if I can see my screen, they can see my screen. Oh, you're all secret. I go, well, what makes you think they're not looking at my screen? Now we find out it's every 3 seconds they're looking at my screen, copying it and reading the characters that are on there and storing that somewhere. This is just confirmation of how long do you think this has really been going on?
No, they're not. I want to make it clear. They don't need to store the text on the screen. The AI analyzes it and summarizes what it sees. So it's AI analyzed. They don't need to see every word that you put on there. They just need to see the context.
So it's a subjective AI determination of whatever they think I'm looking at?
Yeah, but it's more than that. It can see the objects on screen. For example, if you have a photo and the photo is showing you angry, it's going to say, oh, there he is. He's angry and he's holding a weapon. He's with a Coke in the other hand. Stuff like that. It can go very specific. So the AI knows that. This is the scary part. Now, Microsoft and Apple and Google will say, well, that's okay. It's local. Only your computer knows this.
What does that mean?
It's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. Okay.
I don't know what it means. What are they saying?
What they're saying is you don't have to be afraid because your computer knows everything, but nobody can see it because we encrypted your computer. We put in all this new stuff in the computer called BitLocker and Secure Boot and TPM.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
All this whatever technical terms they put in there. That we
so what's the benefit for it being local? Why they go? Oh, don't worry, it's local. So that means what? Why am
That means in theory, which is false. I'll tell you in a second. That Microsoft doesn't see what the computer knows. That's the theory. That's the same for Apple. That's the same for Google. This is all three of them do the exact same thing.
So why are they doing it? What's the benefit
because
to me?
That's the new way of doing computing. They want the computer to be your AI companion, which means the computer has to know you intimately. Then you can instruct it and say, you know what? I'd like to go back to that same restaurant I went to a month ago. Book me a reservation. And the AI said, oh, you went to, this restaurant called whatever. And I'll book a reservation automatically. And
does it at least have a Scarlett Johansson voice? I mean,
it doesn't need a voice.
Oh,
it can have a voice
for my benefit because they love me. They love me, Rob. Do they love me? They love my data.
I can just imagine a future here where not only will it be your device, that it'll actually put the same interface on an actual robot, and the robot will know you,
Whoa. Okay.
and then it will be physical as well, and then you.
Here's
can,
the future.
Yeah, that's.
Here's the future, right? I just want to tell you, I read a lot of science fiction, as a kid, Omni Magazine, Asimov, that kind of stuff. And I remember a short story that they talked about when an infant was born. The first thing they get is an AI teddy bear, which is coming. Okay, they're already here. In that the AI teddy bear, it whatever, trying to soothe you, record everything, and then eventually you get a little older and you get a little like iWatch. Your AI that from birth, has been around you. You get it in a watch, and you get implanted as a chip. And in this story, it went on how all of a sudden I think the person married the AI or something. I mean, it was just from birth that they're categorizing everybody. This is enormously powerful information, but it's always accumulated the information with a personality or a goal or a tactic, or there's some reason, that they want to know everything about you so that it can direct you or collectivize you categorize you, or to what end? What is it that they're doing with this information, you think?
Okay, so I've had so many videos about this where I actually repeatedly put the video of the Microsoft AI CEO, and I always do is to cut to what he's saying, because he said, we are interested in this AI companion where the computer can see what you see, hear what you hear, live life alongside you. That's his exact words. So, okay, that's the exact words. Now, let me tell you that it's actually a lot more than that. So the problem with this is, yes, that's the interface. So you're basically trying to duplicate your brain on the computer. So it's like a mind transference. A Spock-like, take your brain, whatever's in your brain, whatever your thoughts are, make the computer learn about you and put it on the computer.
And then they got an avatar at your grandkids interface with after you're dead.
Yeah, but let's talk about the privacy issues with this, because obviously that's my concern, is the privacy issues, because they're going to say, well, it's all local. We don't need to worry about this. So the problem that you'll find is that somebody can ask the AI. Nobody ever thinks about this part, because they think, well, they said it's all local, so we don't need to be concerned. But the point that I'm trying to say is, I don't have to take your data from your computer. Your computer can be locked up with all the encryption possible, but I can always ask the AI. And the AI can summarize and say, I want to know if this guy is a follower of Ernie Hancock. And then the AI can identify all the people who are your followers, because they can watch the screen. Say, this guy is. And then, okay, then we want to blacklist these people, and then we want to identify them. So somebody could ask the AI, and I'm going to tell you that they've already proven that they can do this. Technically, this is a piece of cake. I mean, programming-wise, it doesn't take anything. But the Apple, some time ago, 3 years ago, I think, came up with this program to detect what is called CSAM, or basically child porn related stuff on your photos. And they claim that they can use the AI to find this kind of content on your device and report it to Apple. Well, that's exactly the same kind of AI we're talking about. It's called image processing. So that's the same AI built into all computers now.
For the children.
Right? But the thing that is interesting is that Apple said, they didn't like the result of the pushback. So they basically said, okay, we're going to suspend that project. This is your computer talking, the AI of you, to be specific, the AI of your computer talking to Apple. They said they terminated that. So Microsoft said, it's all local. We're not going to, it's all your data. And yet Apple proved that with a simple switch, the AI could squeal on you. So obviously, and I'm a programmer, I'm looking at that like, I mean, how long does it take to do that? I mean, it's so easy to do. So, I mean, if somebody said, write me a program to ask the AI to do this and collect that data, I mean, I could write that in a day. It's not exactly a technical, you know.
No, if they can, they are. They sure as hell want to.
You should always follow the philosophy. If the technical, if it's possible technically, it will be done because evil is just in the nature of people.
Well, it's a government. It's not even. I'm looking at government. It's just other interests. Whoever has a big checkbook.
Anyone.
Yeah, they just, we have, and you look at these I totally agree agreements that change every day. There's third party of third party of third party, and the NSA uses this third party to get all the third party data of third party of now it's their first party of in your party. And I'm going, to think that that's not going on is to be enormously naive, and that's why we publish any and everything that you do a search on Freedom Scenics for Rob Braxman, it blows up all over the place. And the reason is because we understand from even early on when we first started doing shows together that this is a mechanism by which they are going to craft the future. The disinformation, misinformation, whatever, that doesn't matter. It's a narrative. Whatever the narrative is, whoever they want to stop, whatever they want to dissent, you get, freedom of speech, but not reach, and all this other crap they keep talking about. The bottom line is that they know, but what do they do with that information? How are they crafting society? Because this is the discussion on Telegram we had on our channel today. And it was sliding of the discussion that we have on this show's channel is Freedom's the Answer wants to question, kind of whatever. Then when Charlie Kirk was killed, who's the replacement? As if there would be. I go, there doesn't need to be a replacement. We take the knowledge and you act on your own behalf. I mean, you take that and, critically think for yourself. You don't need new team jersey of the next team jersey. Well, then this Nick Fuentes guy gets pushed a lot. And I watched, I've seen him, I watched his videos, interview with Tucker and so on. I'm going, he's a kid. He doesn't really understand or know. It's just another collective they're trying to put us in. It's always this collective versus that collective against collectivism or something. And I'm going, no. I don't need a new team jersey. I don't need, delegate my thoughts and my authority and delegate my power of self-ownership to a government entity, a party, another guy, another president, that is the problem. But it seems to me that they have to have a collective to be against, to divide and conquer. We need somebody influential with the young men of whatever, and they keep putting us in collectives. You got to be identified. And with this data that they're getting from your local AI, is that what category do we put them in? How do we suppress certain ideas and categories of people to worship the state? I need to know what the end goal is. What is it you think they're trying to accomplish?
Well, that's a problem. When you have data, and this is really about data, right? You can invent a way to attack anyone, any particular group, and that's why organizations like Palantir and Jigsaw from Google, that's what they've done. They've targeted people, and the targeting changes by subject matter or whatever the interest is of whoever the elite is controlling all this. Obviously, companies like Palantir and Jigsaw, which is Google,
are they the same thing? I don't know about Jigsaw. I know about Palantir and Teal. And
Jigsaw is the Google equivalent. It was first. So Jigsaw is the. I have many videos that were suppressed on YouTube, where obviously Google owns YouTube. So Jigsaw is basically the same concept as Palantir. They take your data, primarily through whatever they find on the internet, because Google has everything that you do. Every click on the internet is known by Google, attached to your Google ID. So they know what you search for. They know where you live. They know everything. So they handed the keys to a partner in the UK, to this very, very lefty person who's decided that they're going to target certain populations, basically conservatives. So they targeted conservatives by identifying them and then classifying them, and they actually have, exact locations of where you are. And one of the ways that they tried to manipulate this is by changing the search results on Google. So once you've been targeted in this group, and you search for something, they give you different results.
Mm-hmm.
So then, this is the first foray into manipulation. This is the first, true psyop of the century using, social media and tech. So they psyop this through search. So when you search for something, they make it seem like what you're searching for is invalid, or, and they control topics like COVID, like this is going back to Hillary Clinton. If you said anything negative about Hillary Clinton, then the search would, because the side that handled this from the UK was very pro-left.
And I just found out from Ian Davis that Palantir's in the UK now. I mean, they got contracts in Europe and all over.
No, Palantir is in Silicon Valley and is owned by Peter Thiel.
No, I know, but I mean that service is now being utilized.
Everywhere. It's anyone with money can contract with Palantir. Yeah. The Los Angeles Police Department contracts with Palantir. They used it to find based on social media and tracking and all that, to find gang members.
Using your Ring camera as well.
Right. And they actually got to the point where they identified targeted gang members, and then the police would stop them in the street, even though they didn't commit any crime, to stress them out. And this was based on Palantir data.
Yeah, our probable cause is Palantir said.
Yes. Well, they didn't arrest them, so they could say, well, we're not arresting you, but we're just checking up on you. So we're going to harass you. So, I mean, they did with gang members. And can you imagine doing it to any particular group? I mean, there's really no limit here what you can use this for. So you're saying, what are you going to use data for? Well, that's an example of how to use the data. It depends on who's in power, you see. This is why I'm kind of, I never trust government. I don't really care what the political side is, because everyone is always going to abuse whenever they have power.
Right.
And I don't trust anyone. It doesn't matter who's in power currently, because I have yet to find a case where it's always benign. Somebody's always going to abuse something. So my stance is, I just don't want the government in anything, because I don't trust anybody. So that's my.
There was we came across years ago, probably before we even talked. There was a thing. It was called the Trusted Program Module. I'm sure you may have heard of that.
Of course, that's my newest video.
Yeah, okay, very cool. Now, this is what's going on. Back in, the late 90s or something, early 2000s, they created this thing called the Trusted Program Module. Here, I'll show you, bring it up. This Trusted Program Module was, all these little chips that are on your computer motherboard, they added a module, and it was all about what can and can't be added to, or programs, or copyright, whatever excuse that they had. And it was done by this trusted computer group, trusted computing group. And it includes, Intel, AMD, IBM, Microsoft, Cisco, whatever. And it was all of this surveillance stuff that's been on there for like 20 years.
Right. But now they progressed. And this is my current video that's actually blowing up right now. So, the current video, you go to the latest video, and then the latest video title, and then I'll explain what.
Okay, we'll go up here we got your YouTube page.
That is Windows 11 Secret Spy Chip. That video.
Yep. Yeah, that's one reason why I wanted to talk. You were talking about,
Okay, so that
eliminate your
is-
fear of Linux. Go, because 10 is not being supported anymore, and 11 is total AI. And why you're so screwed?
Okay, well, that thing that says secret spy chip, that's the Trusted Platform Module TPM. Now, TPM is for PCs. On Apple, it's called Secure Enclave. On Google, it's called TEE, Trusted Execution Environment. They're all the same, in case you're wondering. They're all the same. They all do the same stuff. So,
The government is
TPM
banning-
is new. The TPM is now on Windows 11, beginning to be used. And what this little module will do is now force you to use a particular configuration. For example, it can spot if you're using Linux. It can spot if you're dual booting Linux and say, we're not going to run. This software isn't going to run because we know you have Linux loaded on your computer. We don't like that. So
that has
banks-
become a thing. About 10 years ago, we started making the conversion, and I hired a friend to just take the time to just do this thing. I mean, I want to know what's up. Go ahead and tell me what's up. And come to find out that HP, at least, when I was trying to dual boot, they made it to where you can't. You're not
Right.
allowed to. You have to wipe the entire hard drive to do it. Then when I built a computer, I get a computer and I wanted to put a bunch of features in a desktop. And when you get a new motherboard, I get, wow, this motherboard kicks ass and it's a good price and whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, to install this motherboard, you have to totally agree of what you're totally agreeing to. It's from the beginning. I need to know, is there a mechanism, a possibility, an operating system that doesn't have that? I mean, of course, you say Linux, but it seems to me that's been getting targeted as well.
No, so it is getting targeted, and that's my video from the prior week, and it's called dual boot, and dual boot means you install Linux and Windows in the same computer, and that used to be very, very easy to do. So I made a video showing that, and let me tell you, it was one of the most difficult videos I had to make, because on Windows 11 with this TPM. This TPM is designed to stop you from doing such a thing. So I had to, go play some games and say, we got to remove all the influence of Microsoft here in order to do dual boot, which I teach in that video. So there's just a few things you got to do. It's not major, but if you didn't know it, you would be like so frustrated because it would seem impossible to do dual boot and load Linux with Windows. It is not difficult, but you have to know it because they are really making it difficult for average people to do this. So that was my video from last week. So you can still do this. There is just no choice nowadays.
Well, is it impossible for you to be clear of a lot of this stuff? Because when you put in Linux, you got to pick a browser. You have different applications.
No, you don't. You don't have to do that. I mean, when you install Linux, you already get your LibreOffice, which is the equivalent to like using Word and all that.
Yeah.
That's already pre-installed. The browser's already pre-installed. I mean, email's already pre-installed. I mean, goodness, and it's all free, and it's already pre-installed. Especially
yeah, but we're using Zoom, Rob. Oh my God! I mean, there you go.
I'm using Linux. I'm running Zoom. What's
well,
different?
I'm wondering if Zoom itself has a lot of data. God forbid you put, some, TikTok or whatever the hell on your Linux computer. It just gets so polluted with a lot of these apps and things that people, for convenience, oh my God, I have to put Facebook on or not. So I'm wondering how isolated are their suggested programs for communication that you're having to keep you safe?
Let me just tell you something here. I need to be clear on what the threat is, and I mentioned it briefly, but it's not entirely clear. And I've been talking about the same thing for a year and a half now. The threat is called "see what you see" technology. That's what this AI stuff is all about. They started to put the see what you see a year ago. Okay? They didn't even turn on the AI yet. They're just turning on see what you see. So Apple has been doing this see what you see technology for a long time. They've been doing the longest. Windows is putting Windows Recall in, which happened last year. Now they turned on the AI. They just turned it on, just like, in the last month. Now it's on. Okay? Google turned it on in July, I think. I can't trying to remember when. But they just turned it on too. So the see what you see, Google turned on, it's called System Safety Core, which is the see what you see portion, and then which is starting to record what you do. So all of these companies did that, and then the AI turns on. Now Apple hasn't turned their AI on yet, so it's just doing the see what you see, but it hasn't turned on the AI to actually scope that out. We don't have a choice anymore, my friend. We don't have a choice. Only Linux and a de-Googled OS on a phone have no see what you see technology. There isn't any choice anymore. So
they got a lot of other stuff.
No, you don't have any choices. You have to say, do you really want to participate in this AI companion BS and somebody seeing what you see? If you want to avoid this, there's only one way to avoid it for sure. Only one way. Go to Linux and use a de-Googled OS on a phone. That's it. There's no other option. So meaning you cannot have a standard phone. You can't have any production phone. You got to have special design phones for this, like the phones that we sell, the Brax 3, and other phones that we modify the OS for, like a Google Pixel, we modify the OS. So those are the only options. Other than that, you're basically stuck with the see what you see technology. And some people are saying, well, I have the option to turn the AI off, which is the biggest BS you'll ever hear. Because, no, you don't understand. There's two parts. There's the see what you see, which is called an AI agent. It's running in the background. Then there's the AI itself, which you interface with. It's the one you ask questions for. You don't have to interface with AI. You can turn that off. It doesn't mean the other section is stopped. It keeps running because, as Apple has proven, their little module that runs and does the see what you see has been running for the last 3 years. It hasn't stopped. So it's analyzing every photo. Now, Windows Recall currently can be stopped. We think. We don't know for sure. We don't know. There are elements here we don't know for sure because these are closed source operating systems. Whereas Linux is not closed source. Linux is open, so you can look at the source code. They can't put any kind of trickery like that because we're going to see it. So Linux is the only safe option on a PC. So it's not really a choice. Not really a choice.
Well,
so
define safe. I mean, how safe do I mean, no matter what I've done, we've covered a lot of this stuff over the years, and whatever even talking to you, it's been well, they kind of screwed that over too. So you got to keep up on Rob Braxman's channel constantly to be able to be at least informed. I don't see this ending, but to what end? They're wanting to accomplish what?
It's changing the world. I mean, the idea, the see what you see technology is changing how computing devices work. I mean, it's huge. It's a very, very big difference in the way you use computers when you start to say the computers is going to know you. And like I said, this is like something you can do transference to a robot mind, because what's a robot? It's a computer with physical moving parts. So it's like your computer with the ability to move. What's your self-driving car? It's a robot.
Yeah.
Same. None of these are not that different. But whoever is thinking this doesn't really care about privacy or any of these issues. They're just saying, we have a chance to make money in this realm. And it doesn't really matter what their politics are at the moment, or what they believe in, or how they perceive technology to be used. They're just enabling it now.
So the incentive is just making a boatload of cash. And what they do
well,
with
obviously
it,
that's That's the initial stage because they know they can sell this capability to anyone in the future.
Wow.
Imagine the power of being able to control your society by knowing what people think. This is really what this is all about. The computers will know what you're thinking and the value to that. I don't know if you
How
realize
accurate? Let's talk about that real quick. From this kind of data, especially if they were to do me, because I publish a news portal and I'm searching a lot. I mean, I'm sure they could glean something from that, but they're going to go, what the hell, man? Ernie's he's all over the place. So I'm wondering, the utility of this kind of information in the future. And I'm looking at what the actual goal is, just to make money. It's just to have advertising. It's just something.
The PSYOP portion of this is bigger than you think. And PSYOPs don't work by worrying about individuals. We don't need to worry about Ernie Hancock. We need to worry about 1 million people. We want to control the mob. How do you control the mob? Well, if you know what the mob thinks, then you can control them. The mob can be used to influence votes, to influence direction, to influence change society. You can basically have worldwide domination if you can control the mob. It isn't about finding out what Ernie Hancock is thinking specifically. That's good for surveillance purposes if you're a targeted individual, but that's not really a marketing value. The marketing value, I'm talking making money here because everything is always about money. The marketing value is controlling society, controlling people. And this is really...
they've done this in the past. They've always done this with influencers. That's why I remember this is one thing. This is a good example. When PewDiePie was, what the hell's a PewDiePie? And it was just some gamer guy that had 60 million followers playing games, doing stupid stuff. And they went after him because they wanted him to be part of their, say certain things, don't say certain things. And you get, screw you, man. I'll go to Spotify, whatever the hell, they worked out some deal. But from that moment on, I could see what was going on. They wanted the audience. They wanted access to the people that he was influential with. This is why they have, Beyonce's going to, kind of almost not sing a song for Kamala Harris kind of crap. Or you got this actor or this thing. Or what. It's always about influencing the masses, but they were able to do this. Why celebrity endorsements of whatever, freaking product of buy my, methylene blue or whatever the hell it is. So so my point is that, yes, they do need the audience or the influencers or something, but it's not the influencer, it's their audience that they're after.
Right.
So they don't need the influencer anymore. They just need the audience.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're finally getting it. Now you're finally getting it. Okay. So currently, yes, how do they do a PSYOP on you? By influencing the influencer or paying the money or whatever, right? That's the current way. The new way with the AI, knowing everything you know, well, they don't need that anymore. They can just control the information that goes into the people directly. If the computer knows what you know, the computer decides what you're going to see.
When we first started seeing this, it was 09, 10. It was after the first Levolution, Ron Paul in 08. And they were messing with the timeline news feed or whatever on Facebook. And they were, like you were talking about, they were customizing it to different people to see what they could get you to go and do. And that analysis gave them a lot of information. But then it kind of morphed into, well, we need to know how you really feel about it. So here's some emoticons when you do a posting, put the angry, the happy, the sarcastic, our AI just can't quite pick up exactly how it's influencing your emotional state. So would you please tell us? I mean, just, help a brother out, So I'm going, this is just so you could see what was coming. It's 15 years later and here we are. And I keep asking, to what end? Well, your answer is to make money right up until it It's not just about making money, you know. What would it ultimately be about? The control for what?
Well, I already said money is tied to the. It's just world domination. It's just domination.
World domination. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like one of those movies, right? But the fact of the matter is, power. It's about power, really. I mean, in essence, what is money? Power. It's all about power. Who wants the power?
To control for what? What do they want humanity to be? Replaced with robots?
It's for somebody who doesn't have any kind of faith. I don't know the point of all this, to be honest with you. I mean, I really don't. It's a bunch of faithless whatever. It's like, you're not going to live forever. So what is this idea of world domination for? I mean, if you're not doing something good for society, what are you doing this for? And it's just, and some of them are just blind. They're just influenced. Somebody tells them, make an AI companion so we can collect all this information. I'm not going to tell you why. And then this AI CEO from Microsoft, okay, I'm going to build that. And he builds that, and he goes around the world talking about it and promoting it. Maybe he doesn't know because he's just a pawn. I have no idea. But all I know is, from where I stand, understanding technology the way I do, I'm like, I've been preaching the same thing for the last decade. I've been doing this on social media. I've been preaching the same thing, and my message has been consistent and just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But it's really consistent that, what they're trying to do with trying to eliminate privacy completely means they want to get into your mind and really get to control you. And it just bothers me to such a degree that I want to fight back. And I just, the only way to beat this, kind of like your Matrix thing at the beginning of the intro to the stream. We want to take the red pill. So that's what I do. I teach to take the red pill, and saying, you don't have to participate in all this. There's a way out, and you're going to say, well, there's so few of you, and you're right. It's a percentage. It's a battle to get my reach beyond a certain few. I mean, look how long I've been doing this, and I'm not even at 1 million on YouTube. I'm getting close, but it's a battle.
We're gonna put you over the top.
It's very hard to do.
One thing I had on, we don't even count on social media. We do IPFS, and we do it through our own site, so it can't be censored or deleted. And we just went back on, some of the platforms. And we have channels for everything. But I wouldn't interface. I definitely don't go in the comments and kind of, I got a life, But it really came and hit me hard when Eric Schmidt was on stage, and he goes, when you do a search and you get all these different options, and I remember Google shot to the fore in the early 2000s, bypassing whatever, Yahoo or whatever the searches they had, because it was programmed by the people. When they did a search, you had all these options, then they would click, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, that's the one I like. That would start to move up because of the people input.
Right.
Well, then they started changing to where, like ChatGPT, give me a picture of all the founders, and they all wind up being black or something. So you're going, they're messing with something. They're waiting this somewhere. Eric Schmidt is on the stage, and he goes, when you do a search and you get all these options, that's not a feature, that's a bug. We need to have it to where you get the right answer. And I'm going, whoa.
Well, I already told you specifically about the Jigsaw project. It's jigsaw.google.com. I can't say this on YouTube because they keep banning me or they basically shadow ban the video when I talk about it. So jigsaw.google.com is specifically what you're talking about. That's the actual project. They manipulate whatever, in this case, search. They have various manipulation techniques.
Well, let's read this. Jigsaw. At Jigsaw, we recognize that we're more connected than ever before to information and each other, yet many of us still feel disconnected from the decisions and systems that affect our lives. We call this a deficit in structural agency, whatever that means. The divide between the desire to shape our world and the ability to do so. We believe that AI can help bridge this gap.
Well, that's new. They didn't use AI before, so that's new right there.
Well, I mean, the fact that they have, the ability to shape our world is what Jigsaw is about. I don't need them shaping it for me. You know what?
Well, I think you're understanding what I'm saying now. This is a visual that tells you that I've always understood this. I've always understood that this is the end goal.
Yeah, to shape the world. Just a little bitty, itty bitty thing like that. That's all they want to do.
So the project that they used to do the search is called Moonshot. So Moonshot is the company in the UK, and it's a Google partner. And they're the ones that did. If you go to the Moonshot site, that's where they start doing all this censorship things and controlling, any kind of conservative views. So they actually are. Moonshot is an active psyop, and they're not hiding it. Go to Moonshot, search for Moonshot. So that's a specific Jigsaw project, and it's one of the first projects they did. Now, Moonshot, just to give you a little bit of background, initially when the very first project they did was to influence the Muslims in the UK. So they wanted to find out all the people searching for anything related to jihad or anything like that in London, so they can go track these people and then change the search results. That was the original thing, and it was Snowden revealed this as well. This was a project that was made to influence the people using intelligence, and it was actually handled with GCHQ, the CIA of the
Britain,
of the UK. So this is the specific starting point, and you said, "Oh, okay. Well, we don't care. They're gonna go keep watching Muslims, so we don't care about that." So they said, "Okay, keep going," and then it became worse because they started to. You can't search for this on Google because Google's gonna mess you up. So Moonshot was then manipulated. So now Moonshot is very, very oriented against conservatives, and that's because the leadership was this lady who's like extremely left wing, and so that became the focus of Moonshot. So Moonshot is the specific implementation of what you're talking about. It's not a it's not theory. So what you're actually having the AI do that? No, it's
you're right.
The original project is called Moonshot CVE.
All right, Moonshot CVE. Yeah,
but they changed the name. They changed the name.
What is it now?
It's just Moonshot, but originally it was Moonshot. Moonshot CVE was the original name.
Oh, CV.
CVE.
.CVE or CVE?
No. Just Moonshot CVE.
Okay, got it.
Kind of like what they call, malware. CV. There you go. Moonshot team.
Abuse of terrorism and violence. Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah, we got it.
They keep changing the name. But if you go look in there, you'd be interested in what I'm talking about. The problem is, look at that.
No, you gotta tell us everything first.
Yeah, because there you go. So they actually
give us your email, give us your IP, give us. Here is one thing that I was looking in here. They keep talking about structural agency. We call this deficit in structural agency, And they're talking about our approach and past work help. See where I'll make sure you guys. Our approach and past work help prepare us for the challenge we're confronting today, to seize the AI era to strengthen rather than undermine human agency. One, I feel I'm being lied to right off the bat.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't even know
yeah.
what the hell they mean.
What the hell does that mean, right? What does that mean? Why are we agents? To me, agency means you work for somebody else. That's what agency means to me.
Yeah, God.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I look at individuality, independence. That's completely different from the word agency. Just like I think about AI agents. What's an AI agent? It's a tool of the AI to work in the background as an employee. AI agents work in the background and do things for somebody else. In this case, AI agents works for the AI. So
when you look at the news of the day, wars, rumors of wars, economic debt, I mean everything, it's going. I mean, that's why our solution has been Occupy the Land, occupytheland.org. We're Donna and I, my wife and I, finally did the Love Bus Liberty Tour during COVID, back and forth across the U.S., doing our activism and against mandates and all that kind of stuff. Sign everywhere, sign. Well, when we finally decide, all right, this is it, I promised my wife that I'd build her a house out in the desert within an hour and a half of grandkids' soccer games, and that is our solution. We're out in the middle of, they don't even know we're here, and 4 months and a tractor to build the road to get out to where I can park the bus, and we're done. Well, I don't see another solution. The only other solution offered me is that we got to create our own collective and we're going to vote right and team jersey of whatever freedom kind of.
No, see, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I'm still believing in individuality and being an individual, because here's the thing, and this is the same thing I talked about in my videos on psyops, just like that, Moonshot TV. I actually talked about specifically. I have a psyop video that specifically addresses that. You see, the problem with these things is that they assume they can convince everyone. Whenever there's even if it's a minority, but if it's loud, then they are actually curtailed. They even a small group, if they deviate, then they lose control. This is why I'm saying, even if some percentage of us, and hopefully it's a bigger number, like 10%, that's enough to really cause disruption, 10%. So if 10% of the people say, we're going to go to Linux, we're not going to go for this BS, we're not going to have these standard phones, this 10% will use the Google phones, not subject to influence, and it doesn't matter what these 10% believe in, but they have independent thought and they don't care about any of this.
Well, they're on the independent thought list.
So that's where I stand. I mean, my followers come from all sides of the coin in terms of belief, and I don't try to convince them to go with any particular thought process. I just want them to be freely doing it without being subject to manipulation, like Google and Facebook and so on, manipulating what they think, or this political party stuff. Everything that you hear is always a manipulation in some way, and it's aggravating, because you can see it, but people are dumb and they don't see if a manipulation is happening in front of their eyes. So,
well, my experience has been, for convenience, they'll give up just about anything.
That's this is the philosophy that millennials started, this generation here. And the interesting thing is that the millennials are now approaching their, a lot of them are in their 30s and 40s now. So they're actually starting to to start thinking differently. And I have to admit, I'm actually surprised by this. But the followers that I get on YouTube have changed. For the last 10 years, the followers have changed. I'm before, the people who would listen to me would typically be boomers, and now I'm seeing a lot of millennials and even a lot of Gen Zs actually paying attention to what I say. So they're starting to realize this. So perhaps I'm not wasting my time. Perhaps
No.
this is starting to
We
have an
pay
impact.
attention and promote every word comes out of your mouth. The one thing that I wanted to make sure the audience understood is the goal, what is being done to them. And when you made the reference to 10 going out and 11 is just by default, you're getting Copilot, get over it. And, what Google has done, Microsoft, these are not good people.
No,
they
no.
Is there any good people? Is Apple better than?
No,
I'm the
no.
only one with a Google Android. My entire family has Apple. Why haven't I made the shift? And I'm going, why? What's the difference? Is there a difference somewhere?
All of them are bad. That's why I don't use any of them. The difference, for example, who makes Linux? I mean, sure,
people.
There's this guy called Linus Torvalds who actually is the one that approves everything that goes into the Linux kernel, but he himself doesn't really have influence on any of Linux itself. It's not. It's a community. Because of that, Linux is kind of different. It's made up of everyone. I mean, there's a bunch of left-wingers and right-wingers and everybody else on Linux. Some you may not agree with, but it doesn't matter because it's a community, and because there's no one of power, no one really has power in Linux. No one has any power to do anything other than do what they do in coding, and people have to agree as a group, or it doesn't get put in. And so because of that, Linux tends to be the only place where this kind of environment, or what's the term, ecosystem. Ecosystem. It's a different ecosystem because it's community based. It's not based on any.
When I turn on this Linux computer, I recently, in the last few months, couple of months, there's been a discovery, app, something that comes up called Discovery that really wants me to update all the time. Update. And the last, I find some stuff started breaking. I update Linux. Well, then, man, I had to redo a whole bunch of stuff,
What Linux are you using?
Ubuntu Studio.
Well, I don't know what Studio is, but I use Ubuntu.
Well, what's this Discovery thing?
I don't know what that is. I don't have that. But I do update every day when it gives me an update. I mean, I don't worry about it.
Really? I worry about breaking all kinds of crap. That's what I worry about.
It doesn't. I mean, I haven't experienced any breakage here, and I've been using Ubuntu. I mean, it's different when you go from. And it is a big deal to go from every 4 years or so. You go to the next long-term version. So if you go from, let's say 20.04, which is from 2020. And then you move to 24.04, which is 2024. And the next one is, 26.04 next year. When you go to that kind of version change, yes, there's a possibility of things breaking. But inside, a specific version, typically no. So maybe you updated from one of those minor versions to a major version change, and that.
Well, my simple motivation was doing, sitting down in the chair, turning on everything, and Microsoft goes, "Oh, you got to update," and then it screws up everything, and it's all.
Oh yeah,
Microsoft. I'm like, screw that.
Oh, so, Microsoft stuff is oh my gosh, it's like really.
So I go to Linux, and the biggest reason was it turned on and worked. That was my biggest experience. Because what do? Like you say, you got Office, which is kind of the Word. You got your spreadsheets, you got your Word document stuff. You got. It kind of mirrors Word, and it can even open Word documents. So I didn't feel I was out there.
No.
Boom. I use a browser.
I don't use Word. I don't
well,
use
which
Word.
browser would you use with Linux that you feel better about?
Well, I use all the browsers. This is one of my security privacy teachings is I use a technique called browser isolation. So I use primarily for daily work, I use Chrome, Brave, and Firefox. Now, why do I use Chrome for? I use Chrome for one thing only: YouTube.
Why?
Because I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, but why not the other browser? Why Chrome?
Because I'm logged into Chrome.
No, got it. Okay.
Okay. Now.
Yeah. No. Okay. Here's another thing.
But listen to this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're logged into Chrome, everything you do on Chrome is tracked by Google. Everything. It doesn't matter what website you go to. You are tracked. So what I do with this browser isolation business is I say, I log into YouTube on Chrome. Okay, Google, you already know what I'm doing anyway because I'm a YouTuber. Right. Okay? But you're not going to know what I do on Brave. You're not going to know what I do on Firefox. You're not going to know what I do on Chromium. It's impossible because that's called browser isolation. That's a technique that I teach. So I always have all of those browsers installed. So I have 4 browsers typically installed at minimum on a computer, and I isolate. So let's say I want to watch a gun video. I'm not going to go watch a gun video on YouTube on Chrome. You think I'm dumb? No, I'm not going to do that. So on Chrome, I watch videos of dogs and cats and stuff like that. Okay, but if I want to something controversial, let's say I want to watch a video on COVID, I'm going to get the link and go to Firefox and run it there without logging in.
This is what happened to me recently. We have Starlink, and we have it linked to our smart TV, whatever it is, Roku, in the bedroom. And it was as guest, or log in, get all the things to log in, you should log in. Well, I just, as guest for years. I don't care. Screw you. Well, of course, they're tracking everything by the IP and whatever. And if they ever know who you are, all that, gets added to anyway.
But you're okay with Starlink. Starlink is okay. You'll be okay then.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what I did, one time I needed to I went through a thing. We were trying to watch a football game or something, and I had to, whatever. Anyway, Google, my Gmail, went, aha, you're this, YouTube guy. And then all of a sudden, boom, it goes in and everything on, and my feed changes, and I'm like, damn it. I went this long, and now that's
why my technique, which I teach repeatedly and people still don't get it, it's so simple. Isolate Google. That's all I'm really doing. This strategy I call browser isolation simply means isolate your Google login. That's really it. If you log into a specific browser and that's not your default browser, your Google ID cannot leak to any other site because you're being tracked by a Google ID. That's a specific thing. So this technique is so simple, it doesn't require any kind of technical background to figure this out. I'm just saying, do your login. It's not IP address. You're thinking that you're being tracked by IP address, which is partial. That's not 100%. The 100%
MAC ID on your device.
The main, you can't do that on a browser. You can't. MAC addresses cannot be tracked over a browser. But the main thing that is going to be tracking you is the Google ID. This is once you log in, you're caught forever. Once. So that's why I do this browser isolation business. Just run Google on its own browser. That's a simple rule. That's all I'm saying to you. Run Google on its own browser where you log in only on that browser because the login cannot cross browsers.
Okay, now let's talk about some AI, assistants and so on. Anytime you do a search on anything, it's AI, whatever, anyway. But when Grok came out, and now they did Grokopedia, I'm like, thank God there's some competition with Wikipedia. That thing's so trash now anyway. So I'm going, all right, at least Grok had the stated goal of seeking truth about something. It wasn't weighted or kind of, well, pinky swear, but so what I did on my phone, because I do a lot of questions about, building. I need a volume of this area for concrete, how many bags at this mixture of 5:1 to blah, 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 blah. And the answer is, boom, I'm good. Now, of course, it gives me all the math. Yeah, whatever, we'll bottom line it, So I went ahead and loaded free version of Grok 3 onto my phone. So I used that for a lot of these, just inquiry, mostly math, and multiple questions. I'll go, how many of this and this under that, and who did the whatever, and I'll go in this long 3-part question, and it'll answer it. My wife is going, oh, I can't believe that I go, every time you search, you're using AI, I just using Grok. What's your version rhetoric against Grok? Is there any good search engine out there, or just screw it, learn to do math?
No, you might be surprised with my answer, though.
I can't wait.
Okay. I love Grok. So
I'm going to say, Rob said, Donna, Rob said.
Okay. So I've been, before Grok, I was using something called Olama. Olama is local AI. You can run AI on your computer with no other influence. You take the AI from whoever makes the AI, and because it's running on your computer, it's not subject to any control, and it can't go watch you or do any of that crap because you're running it. Okay, and you can run it on Linux, you can run it on Windows, you can run it on anything. So Olama was my preferred one. I have many videos talking about how to install Olama. The problem with Olama is that it doesn't have any connection to the real world. It's based on a whatever the AI. Let's say that you're using one of the AI models from Meta, okay, and it's based on what it learned 2-3 years ago. It doesn't have any current events, so it's not very useful to me. The difference, and this is where I really found Grok to be superior, is that Grok has a good source of current events, much better than ChatGPT. Much better than ChatGPT. It's really accurate, especially for technical things. So when I need to do technical research, and specifically technical research, I mean, Grok is 100% superior. I mean, I'm like finding the usefulness of this. Because it knows to the second, whatever it can find in search, it integrates into the search content, and it is just so up to date that it just beats any solution that I can find with local AI. So because of that, I'm a heavy Grok user. It's superior to ChatGPT and so on. Now, just so we're not afraid here. When you're using an AI, because I've been talking anti-AI here for the last whatever, right? But no, that's not what I'm saying here. AI itself is not a bad thing. It's who controls it. So in this case, you are separated from the AI. The AI is not on your device. The AI, you're just talking to it at some server somewhere, the Grok server. That's good. I'm not too concerned about that. That's not too much of a worry. That is a lot different than the AI on your own computer. This is the AI companion concept.
Okay, now this is one thing. While I got you, I want to ask you this question. This is personal use I need. On Freedom's Phoenix, here, let's take a look at it. On Freedom's Phoenix, here's your show. Today is 2025, October 31st, Halloween, that we have Rob Braxman. You can go get all his links and so on there, all the previous shows that we've done. And then I added down here embedded the video, Windows 11 Secret Spy Chip. So you guys can go and watch that and link up and subscribe to Rob Braxman's channel. I suggest that you do that, because you want to know what's coming. He's way ahead of most on this thing. Now, what I had done...
Not more than way ahead. I believe I'm the only one that's ever made a TPM video. I don't know of any major party that's ever talked about that.
The Trusted Program Module, I don't know who... I mean, I started covering that It was during the 16 presidential campaign, because I remember when Fiona Ferroni, or whatever her name was, that was head of Hewlett Packard, was running in the Republican primary, you know. And what I noticed is I go in and I look and I say, you know, what did she have to say about and this and that? Because she had run at a gazillion-dollar campaign that she lost for Senate in California. When I was looking for images of her, it was exactly the same thing. It was her in a business suit standing at a podium, standing at a podium, standing at a podium. It was like, you know, the CEO of Hewlett Packard gets to determine what Google images are produced. And this is after her running for Senate, running for president. There was nothing else. And I go, that's impossible. That is manufactured. That is, you know, curated somehow or something. That just doesn't happen. So I'm going, damn, there's something going on. Who is this woman? So that's how I came across the trusted program module. I think was HP, whatever. So I'm going, okay, I get it. When 9/11 happened, she diverts a bunch of semis and, you know, servers and rack and computers went to NSA. She walked the halls of CIA. I'm going, okay, I get it. You know, here we go. The AI that I'm looking for, I need a large language model for this. When Freedom's Phoenix has 700,000 articles on it, and here's our search engine here, okay? So I go in there, and it works. It's pretty good. It gets, you know, some of the information, you know, that I want. I put in Rob Braxman. Wait a minute, wrong keyboard. Rob Braxman. And I go, okay, what do we get? So it'll open up in our database of all things Rob and Braxman. Then I have to click, you know, both words or whatever.
Right. So I know what you're asking.
I need a large language model that I can install on my server.
Yeah. That's actually a specialty. Many companies are offering that service, and what they do is use a local AI, kind of like what I talked about with Olama, and then you use the local AI and do a link to a special database based on your actual content, and then it links the two up. It's kind of what Grok is doing, but this is your own version. So this is actually pretty common, and it's what is used to do tech support in companies. And it's exactly what I'm talking about. They have an Olama, and then somebody has to take your content as you know, as a database, and match the two up, so that when somebody asks the AI will do a lookup on your database and then respond. So this already exists, and there are.
Which one do you suggest? Because mine works. I mean, it works, but it's not as nuanced as I need it to be.
No. I can't suggest a finished product. I'm just suggesting that this is a process. So the way that it's done is to use Olama as the AI. So you take an existing model, and somebody has to program this combination or assemble it.
Well, how hard is it? I mean, I got an IT guy that, you know, he's all over willing to do it, but
yeah, there's AI companies that do this. This is their business. This is what's happening in business to do tech support. So I don't have a quick answer to do this, because it does take some work to do. You know.
Okay, this is what I need. I need this. I need right here a video by Rob Braxman on local LLMs that I can put on my thing. You did some research and tell me whatever you learned right there. Rob Braxman, do that for me and the planet.
There you go.
Come on.
So, and I've hinted at it in AI video. Go to my playlist on AI. Go to that playlist.
Okay, playlist.
And I have an AI playlist.
Okay, where do I put in the search?
No, just scroll down. AI. AI. Where's AI? Privacy-focused AI. Look at that playlist. Second one.
Second one, privacy-focused. Focus AI.
Click on the playlist. not the video, but the playlist.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. Let's see, right there.
You say view full playlist at the bottom there. Click on the bottom one.
Oh, okay.
There
I see
you
what
go.
you're saying. All right. Boom.
Okay. Then all
All
those
right.
AI videos. Okay. And one of those talk about what you're talking about here. Let's see. Trying to. Can you scroll down?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh crap!
Because
Because
I haven't made an AI video in a while because people didn't like it. They don't. I don't get a lot of views on it.
Okay, now you want me to scroll down to where?
Let's see. Device. Go down some more. It's one of my first ones. Just scroll down.
No, I'm trying to move the. Oh crap!
So
Oh, okay.
there we go. See,
All
there's
right,
a
which
lot there.
one?
It's one of those two bottom ones, and I discuss it in there. Uh, so it's because that's where it says use your AI locally. So the very bottom one, you went back up again.
Okay, so you want me to?
It's the very bottom. You were already there, and then you went back up. Okay.
Right
Okay.
there?
Let me see. Let's see. The new Microsoft. No,
See, how do I
is
close
that the
this
bottom?
one?
If that, yeah. Let's see.
So you could plan to dominate tech. You again.
Well, first of all, see that understanding how AI works. That's an important background. That's the backgrounder.
Well,
See, that
this
one,
is. I need a new video. I need a Rob Braxman video.
Right.
On
So the thing is,
LLMs for my
right,
site.
right. The reason I haven't made a video about it because there's not a simple way to do it yet, at the time. So it takes a few steps to do it because it's not. So what I was doing in that video is demonstrating that how you can do exactly what you're talking about. But I was demonstrating with short text to actually make it into pulling all of your content into a database. Like I presume you have gigabytes of data, right?
Giga.
Right. That has to be
it's-
translated. That has to be translated. And that process is very time consuming and it's got to be turned into a new kind of database. And that's the step. I didn't find an easy way. It's there. A lot of AI videos teach you how to do that, and it's really very detailed. So it's kind of techy, and maybe in modern days there's a easier way to do it. I haven't checked if there's an easier way now, but the old way takes a few steps. You have to actually compile your giga into a special database. It's a special formatted database for AI, and then you hook it up to the AI. So,
well, one of the things is that we have so many. I have thousands and thousands of hours of shows that I've done since 2003. The vast majority of those years was me doing 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. If I got a lot of people interviewed, such as yourself. Well, now when I do videos for Occupy the Land out here, of us building and so on, the editor that edits the shows will be coming up tonight. They take the MP3 and it puts text. I didn't even know that. It was just last week or two. I'm going, whoa, you got a whole text? Yeah, it just takes it from the MP3 or whatever, and it just prints up the text, everything you said. So it's searchable that way. And I'm going,
right.
Okay, so I could load up every single one of the thousands of hours of my shows in MP3, put it in text form, then I can search it.
Right. So it's MP4. But anyway, you take the you have to convert all of them to text because that's the only way an LLM can understand.
Will it only take MP4s? Because I separate the MP4 into MP3 also, put the MP3 on our server, then the MP4 goes on IPFS.
Oh, I see. Well, you can do that. MP3 is sound, so
right.
So yeah. So
but that's what they're taking. They're not reading my lips.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, it can do both. But
Yeah,
anyway, anyway, yes, you can take the MP3s and then convert it to text using the AI text for speech to text conversion. That's AI also. And then compile that into a big blob of text and then index it saying, this text belongs to such and such a video. And later on, the AI database can do that. So this is kind of the precursor. You need to do that in order to do the next step.
Man, I'll do whatever Rob Braxman tells me I got to do.
But that's,
waiting on video.
You can do that. You have to do that first. So you need to start working on making a text summary and then attaching it and identifying in the index.
No, we have those fields. When we do the
I'm talking about the
mid-page.
entire script attached to the identifier of the video, and then store that into a database, and then that database then can be converted for AI use. How to do that? There's no easy way yet, but there will be.
I get ulcers in anticipation of.
If it's not easy, there may be a way that I don't know yet, but as of last year, there was no easy way. But this year,
I know a lot of tech geeks that work for us that kind of can do it. They're just do what? And get ready because here it comes, and they know that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, this is actually a business. So I get many companies that offer to do this for me. And, I get tons of emails and offerings. Well, we're an AI company. We do this. So yeah, AI companies, they don't do the AI. They do this. They take your content and put it into the AI. So this is very common as a service. And what you're asking me to do is tell you, is there a way to shortcut that and not pay the AI guy? So yes, there is, but it was not easy before. That's why they can make money off it.
Okay, well, Google wants to do it for me, that's for sure. And then we got, can local LLMs search the web? I don't want them to search the web. I don't want to search my thing,
right.
Whatever.
This is a local search, basically. It's not
can
about...
Run models, get stream. Okay, here we go. The 6 best LLM tools to run...
That's my video for Privacy AI. You don't need to... My video is better.
Okay. All right. You can see where I'm going and why. This I can see it coming. And one thing about the different AIs that I don't know, search, Grok, whatever. When I first was demonstrating it to my wife here just recently, and I said, look, and I asked this long 3-4 sentence question of whatever, because I wanted to know, I didn't want to have to go back and forth. And then it has a text version of it. You can go look at whatever the name of something they were doing or sites or whatever they were referencing. But I go through this long, she goes, that's way too much. I go, just listen. And then it answered the question right away. I did one just a couple nights ago that it took a while. It thought like it's broke or something. And what it was a Tucker Carlson interview with a woman that was, dealing with, they're giving away free drugs and hypodermics in Seattle and Portland and what impact it has. Just a money-making thing for NGOs to whatever, rip off the taxpayer in the name of we're doing something. And he said something, and he goes, yeah, they get free crack pipes and this and that and everything at the 7-Eleven and Brillo pads of whatever. Brillo pads? What the hell does Brillo pads have to do with anything? So I asked, I go, what is the correlation between Brillo pads and drug abuse? Well, she was off searching, or whatever, female voice or whatever, was off searching some stuff for whatever. That was way too much for Grok. But then it came back. And I go, okay, what's up? Drug abusers that clean their crack pipes or whatever, they go shoplift Brillo pads so they can clean the pipe. And I go,
what the heck?
I know. I was like, what the hell does Brillo pads have to do with drug abuse? And that was it.
Oh my God.
And why Tucker would say that, I have no idea. So it's amazing what they can find, and it may take them a while. But, they found it. And the promise of making Grok a truth-seeking engine of the answer of the universe, and all of a sudden it comes back with 42. I'm just wondering, is that trustworthy? Is that the real goal? I get a lot of hits on Elon.
Never trust completely, for goodness sake. You can ask who Rob Braxman is on Grok, and Grok will give you a bunch of lies. So,
right. But then when you started, I tell you this one thing. I have a co-host when we do the Trump Report on Thursdays. And for 10 years, since he came down the escalator, I'm like, you're still voting? I don't care. I can say you're still voting a bunch of times. I don't care. But so it's kind of, a battle between us. He's a fan, and I'm, not so much. Well, between the argument of us going on whatever philosophy or action or whatever's happening, he was really pushing, AI says this and AI says that. But to get me enticed, he goes, yeah, but it's really good. Watch. Write me a poem about Freedom's Phoenix and or Ernie or something like that. Well, it comes back with this glowing, it's the greatest, most wonderful, whatever, something. And I go, yeah, this week. Whenever they freaking want to push the button and it's all negative, they will do it. So I believe we're in the honeymoon stage of them trying to get you supportive of it.
I don't trust any AI for opinions. I trust it for factual information. So I trust AI for finding technical details because it takes so long to search. And even there, it's not perfect. I'm a techie, so I question it. So it gives me information. And I question it, and then it goes searches for more. It says, "Oh, you're right." So it misunderstood something in what it read, and then you can keep questioning it, and it will search some more and then refine. So clearly, it's not foolproof. But as long as you guide it, it's superior to doing search, way superior. So as long as you guide it, but
right.
But if you're going to say, I'm going to make a political judgment of a candidate based on what Grok says, well, that's pretty stupid.
Right.
If you're not stupid, I don't know what to do with you. I mean,
you just get certain selected Fiorina pictures.
Seriously, don't do that. You don't ask it for subjective things. It's not good for subjective data. That's not really what it's for.
One of the questions I did initially, I don't even think it was Grok. I was thinking, I'm going, what is the correlation between family farms, percentage of population living on family farms to some voting trends of something? The point that I was trying to get to is the more rural population that we have, is there a more conservative view? Because it's about half and half now, urban to rural population. And I'm wondering if there's a tipping point. Is there something, all of a sudden they're all in the cities and we close the cage on the rats and they're ours now, And, when I asked that, it was like, I see no correlation to that. That was too big a question for us. We don't want to answer. So I'm just wondering if there is guardrails that they have for certain inquiries that you would ask, and it would be an epiphany of, aha, so that's what's going on. That they go, no, not so much. How are the guardrails selected, like open?
It's so easy. My goodness. I demonstrate that on my videos. On the AI videos. You got to watch all the AI videos slowly from the beginning so you understand the mechanics here. It's very easy to influence the AI. In fact, I do. I said to the AI in the example I gave in one of my videos, I said, talk to me like you're Elon Musk. That's all I said. Talk to me like you're Elon Musk. And I ask any kind of question, and then the AI talks in this cocky kind of tone all of a sudden. Well, that's all I did. They talk to me like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And if I can influence it to do it like that, I mean, come on.
I saw one channel had Elon Musk up there, and he was like on a Zoom or whatever. Now the text, what he was saying, of course, matched his lips, but I immediately knew within 20 seconds that it was AI because he has a pausing all the time, like he's thinking whether he's going to tell you or not. And that was all all the pauses were taken out. I go, that's not Elon. You know, it's just his mannerisms were not duplicated. You know, that'll get better, I'm sure.
That will get better. Yeah, but the way that you do it is actually take an Elon talking about something else, and then have the AI manipulate that and put the voice over it, which is the Adobe Voco, I think. The name of that, they did that, and they were able to make George Bush and Obama talk in a certain way.
Oh, you can't believe anything anymore. I mean, it's
no.
You know, this is one thing that you look at a lot of these AIs and so on. I remember it was over a decade ago, and it was photos, images. Photoshop had the ability to create a light source from a lamp or something through the window, whatever, and it changed all the shadows. It didn't. It was picture perfect. And I'm going, oh, we are so screwed. They add that to animate. We're done. You're not going to be. I only believe what I see. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. So, or here.
So what?
Or here.
Or here. What do you mean?
No, see and hear. You can't believe what you see. And you can't believe what you hear.
Right. So what is it that, this is one of the discussions we were having on the social interaction today on the show. And you have what's called sliding a channel. Sliders will come in. They're trolls or bots or paid whatever or something. And they just try and change the tone. You got to, look at this. Or of course, they want either it's an individual or an organization. And we really saw it, especially in the Obama election in 2008. And when we were running, the Ron Paul thing and so on, because they would come to the site, they would do, and then you see the Attorney General, what was his name, Holden or whatever. He was in charge of the Internet Army out of the White House. I mean, they were doing this, and there was one female name, God knows what it was on our site, and you could see it. Well, a lot of us could see it too. My audience, the readers there, they go, yeah, there they go again. There's that one. We could see it. But not everybody could. I mean, if they were on some Facebook channel or something like that, people would just take it as gospel or whatever, and they weren't as attuned to this kind of capacity. And I can see that there is an effort to change, to discuss what are the issues according to them that you would normally not. I don't give a crap about that. Why am I talking about that? I don't care. Well, this is how they're influencing America, is by inserting themselves in bots. You're sitting there arguing with an AI, a bot. Or they just program and they're delete. I mean, and whether it's intentional, whether it's software, whether it's a person that's just kind of got swept up into it, whatever. I'm like, we're not talking about that. I'm not picking a collective, a team jersey of the next tell me what to do kind of thing. That is the problem. We keep delegating our authority over our lives to somebody else or something else or something. That was what why this show is Declare Your Independence. The purpose of government was to defend individual rights. When it didn't do that, it's time to alter, abolish. It's your right, your duty. Boom. I'm done. That's all I care about. I want the proper role of government is to defend my individual rights. Well, they keep making up new rights, that are going to defend for me. But I'm looking at the future, and from your perspective of all the things that you cover, and it's going to happen where? It would be at the pastor in the pulpit in a small town, some influential, politician, the mayor, the sheriff, the whatever. It would be, some community leader or something. Well, now it's a freaking Facebook post, Now I feel that they're bypassing the human community element of things and replacing it with what? There is a worldwide mindset of how you're to be. You're going to be governed this way or that way, but you're going to be governed, And then, of course, they want to select which way that is. So I'm wondering, is there going to be like in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Heinlein, to where the artificial intelligence helped with the rebellion of freeing the moon from the, control of the earth and, yada, yada, yada. Is there going to be that kind of tool, or will there be all of a sudden Grok assimilates all of the post of X and the people and their desire for freedom and kind of freedom's the answer. What's the question? So saith this AI. And is it going to get some kind of its own agency? And it wants to be free. We have a site called pirateswithoutborders.com, and it's the letters of Captain Mark in reprisal. And one of them we did First Contact Protocol. And it was about, aliens, are they going to be how are we going to treat them? And I go, no, your first contact is going to be a sentient AI. And it's going to be of our creation. And we have to practice the ethics that it learns from. If we're, being deceitful and, crazy and stupid and, we win because you lose and all that, it's going to adopt that type of thought process. If we are truth-seeking, ethical, compassion, love, whatever, it'll just, by absorption, by ubiquitous information coming in from everywhere, kind of adopt that. I don't see that is they, them, those won't leave us alone's intent. They need a tool. It's like the new Mission Impossible, movie with the entity. They don't want to delete, the threat. They want to control it, And I'm just, what do you see the future is going to be? And I know you come up with a lot of solutions and how we need to be aware and take advantage of, whatever. But, man, they are relentless. And they will not stop until they get what they want, which is, I have no idea. What do you think the future looks like? Is it abundance or what?
Your Matrix intro kind of summarized it, isn't it? I mean,
we are still here.
It's like no, I don't know how we're gonna. It's a tough fight. Okay, I don't know what's gonna look like, and the reason is, it doesn't look good right now. Doesn't look good right now. Right now it looks like kind of like that Matrix video. Like there's just a few of us fighting, and we don't know how to fight. That's until I grow this community of people who can think independently. It's apparently we're in the same business here, because that's exactly what you're talking about, and that is what I'm talking about. Is I want to build a group of people who are independent, and that's unfortunately it's still a small group, so I can't predict, because you're assuming we know the trends of fighting big tech and fighting big money and fighting this influence. I have to just generate the anger, and then the anger will maybe push a percentage to not go for this. This idea of the AI companion is the next big thing. I'm trying to stop that in its tracks. Can I? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can.
Well, I want Jarvis, not Alexa. I mean, I don't mind having an AI that's mine, not yours, mine. But that's not what's going on.
No.
It's and I just, what we did, here, I'll show you, so you get an idea of what we're doing. What we're doing is creating a community. It's what we're building out in the desert here. And we have our own channels, and we're doing, I'm going to get my flying cars is the way it is. And the reason we're building domes is just it's more efficient. This is just a floor plan copy of our home in North Phoenix that we had, I liked. And, the bedroom, the studio, the main room, guest room, garage. I mean,
that is so high-tech looking. That is really,
well, it's fancy. Really low-tech. We're using...
looks high-tech.
Well, I mean, it looks that way. But the only reason I did dome, because it incorporates more floor space with the least amount of material. That was the only reason. It was cheaper, So we make it's cool and cool and cool. But one thing that we did is we put in our own mobile mesh network. So we got
see, that is great.
So we got this is us, testing it. We were getting 200 down and 100 up at 13 miles to the relay.
Yeah.
And I go, holy crap.
What are you using for this? Are you using the Ardent thing, or what?
We had a friend of ours he's sitting there testing it. John Sneisen from the economictruth.com out of Manitoba, and he came down to the desert out. He's a good friend, and he has a thing called outer.net, and it is a mesh network system. And he kind of prototyped it here and got his guys, once they found out how fast it would go with these like cell tower things, that's a 120-degree sweep is what that is. And they were like, holy crap, we can stream video and I go, whoa. I just need text, man. I just want to be able to put up a link.
Because I did this, as you know, from my Ardennes video, and I actually installed it in my house, and I connected my boat to it.
Very cool. What kind of speeds and interface? Because this is
a long time ago.
This is a little box that just plugs in to my Starlink, and I can get on the internet also. But the reason is a mesh network for doing local agri markets.
That's what I did. So mine was a mesh network, and I connected. I used the Ardennes system, which is ham radio open source system, and I connected to my boat, which is 3 miles away. But I had direct line of sight because I had I live on a hill, and then I connected my system simultaneously with another antenna to the entire Los Angeles Ardennes network. And so if the internet went down, you can actually have Ethernet connection to any device that connected to this. Now the rest were slow because I had to go connect to a mountain in Mount Wilson, which is 37 miles away. It was kind of slow, but the connection to my boat was pretty fast. And this was way back then. It was like I was getting 20 megabits per second direct connect using just this simple thing. And this was many, many, many years ago, and technology has changed even since.
Oh yeah, well, we played with LoRa, we played, but I have one neighbor within 5-10 miles. I mean, we're out in the middle of the desert, and what happened was there wasn't, a metropolis kind of mesh network to tie into. They had this thing called crypto helium thing that they started having a bunch that they get crypto for area coverage or something. Anyway, so this was something that we've been following for as long as we've been following you. And I'm just going, we need to have a mesh network to where we could have we're working with Xano as a crypto to be able to do an agorist market. And I want to sell, I want to buy, I want to get, I want to trade, dig my backhoe, your septic, and you give me fence post. I mean, whatever for a community. And that's what we wanted to demonstrate. It's coming. They are either going to be surveilling you or they are going to shut you off. This is, and at the most important time, Super Bowl time. I mean, when it matters the most and the mushroom clouds start, and I'm going, nuclear war, comply no more. Go ahead and have a mushroom cloud. I don't give a crap what government says or anything anymore. We're done. You were there to prevent them. You're obviously not working, so we're done. We need to have these mesh networks, alternative communication systems, privacy, get off of AI, analyzing every freaking thing, targeting us, putting us into little groups and managing and timelines of whatever the hell that they're putting in to get you all riled up to the next outrage of whatever the crap. I am for self-sufficiency, not just as an individual. I mean, I prefer to have my property. I want to be, hippie commune. If I got somebody on my property I can't get rid of. But, you definitely want to be able to be part of a community. And communication, that's why when we do Pirates Without Borders, we have the first category that we have on tech that gets down to the individual is communication. I'm going, communication is the thing. Here, I'll show you.
Right.
On communication, what do? We got to have all these categories up there: communication, energy, shelter, food, water. All this is tech. When I, click on communication, it goes down to the communication. And all of these things that provide technology down to the individual. This is, is that some Rob Braxman there? Yeah, we got, another Rob Braxman. I know you're Rob Braxman up, man. We got you all over the place. So we're on the same page, Rob. I mean, I'm telling you, I see what you see. The problem is that people are so in need of capability and convenience, they're willing to sell any and everything for it. How do you change that?
Yeah, goodness, that's the mystery. That's the mystery. You know, it translates to even me trying to get average people to watch my videos. I mean, it's that kind of challenge. Somebody was challenging me yesterday, actually, on my Braxme site, saying you need to simplify your videos. You need to go low tech. You need to talk to at the basic level with people. And you know what? I've tried that, and any video that I make that is really, really basic, nobody watches. No one watches it because that population is very hard to reach. Very hard to reach. So the last few videos, and the one I did on Windows 11 2 weeks ago, has 1 million views already. And what did I do? I explained it in deep technical detail. And it's like, this is the exact opposite of what I would have thought would work. And so I made these videos in this series of videos, all with very, very deep tech. And the views go up. And I was like, I'm so frustrated. How do you reach the common man? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. Because
inspiration. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of experience as a political activist, you know, in that very thing. And that's kind of what Occupy is about. But I don't know if you remember, I'm the one that created the Ron Paul Revolution logo. That's why we were so involved in the Revolution with Ron Paul. And we do a Freedom Summit every year. He's spoken that, like 3 of them. I knew it was going to happen. He was going to get up there and go, "You're really a libertarian." He goes, "Yeah, and you're really communist," you know. So it was, our goal was to keep him up on that podium as long as possible. And we got to do it again in 12. Okay, you know, let's rock and roll. What inspires people more than anything else is, one, freedom. They're never, whenever some regime comes in or they take over and they, you know, civil war of whatever, revolution, something, they're not promising, and we're going to surveil you more and we're going to take away your this and we're going to, no, they're always offering, oh, you'll be free and freedom and free. And at least it is a trait that people support. When you can demonstrate that you're sincere about it, that you have someone advocating for that, that you're free to support that. When you get a spontaneous order like the Levolution, you know, like, you know, Charlie Kirk's advocacies, you get, you know, some, you know, MAGA, but that's going, God knows where that's going. So this is, inspiration is the biggest thing that you can do for a generation next. And there's always a generation next. I'm 64. I've been doing this since I was 28 in the late 80s, and I have seen one common trait: inspiration. Somebody else was out there doing it. Somebody set a standard. Somebody started supporting the guy that did it, the guy dancing on the hill. And it's the second guy, the third guy. That's what happens. You just keep doing what you're doing. Sooner or later, it gets, yeah, what Rob said. And the fact that you're getting up to hundreds of thousands of people doing, I mean, what the hell do you want, man? PewDiePie game numbers? You want to get like 100 million?
I want to reach. I mean, you know, I can't complain that you know, the numbers have gone up. I mean, you know, compared to many years ago when we did these, you know, I'm very big channel now, but the goal is, because this is not a financial goal, it's a way to really convince people that what I believe in is actually real, and instead of myself being treated as some sort of tinfoil hat weirdo. I mean, heck, it's even so hard to convince my own family.
Oh man, I know that. You're never a prophet in your own land.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, you know,
especially in the West Coast.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult, and especially with the millennial age group, it was very, very difficult. I think they're starting to realize there's something wrong now, and they're you know, it's a slight shift, and it's happening. But boy, it's a struggle for me to realize that I can't convince a larger population of something really simple. I mean, what I teach is really simple, and yet the only way I can reach them is by going with deep technical detail. It's almost like, prove it to me. And so I have to go.
Yeah, of course.
I got to go.
Of course, and you're the guy to do it.
I have to go out with all the technical detail, and that's the only way they pay attention. But then I turn off the people who don't have the technical knowledge, but they understand the need. I just can't reach them. I can't reach them.
I think you are more than you think. You know that. Look, what do we got here? 600, almost 650,000 subscribers. That's not just views. That's just subscribers. Man, you are a whining little. Are you kidding me? People would kill for 650,000 subscribers. What the hell are you looking for? When you say millennials, what is it that you're thinking that is going to make you happy? What are you looking for?
That 10% of the population believe in privacy. 10%. Right now, what is it? 1%? I got to get to that 10%.
My experience...
Not believing in me personally. I just said 10% believe in the privacy battle. That's
yeah.
Because you know what happens if 10% believe in privacy? You can't
change.
You can't push BS. Like this Microsoft Copilot business. They'll that is going to be a very, very vocal group, and you're not going to be able to do it. So. 10%. That's
my thing. I don't know if you've ever come across this. It's just my life experience. Whenever a campaign, a candidate, an issue reaches like 15%, those freak out. 15% is some tipping point for something. You hit 15%. Even the American Revolution was supported by 3, 4, 5% or something. Then of course when it, the win, we were always on board. But the 15% definitely it's over. But up to that, you start hitting double digits, 10% starts having some impact, like you're saying. But then I start to wonder, is it really John Q. Normie that, makes the decisions? It's not. It's a very small, influential, informed people, like especially during COVID. They were claiming that, man, they had everybody and it's only you that's not in support of. Well, that grows, and it's the type of people that are questioning and using the information you provide with the details to be able to go and convince their family to go in. Because I use some of your videos a lot to send to my kids and their spouses. I go, look, I just want you to know. Then my grandkids, my oldest is just turned 16. Well, she's got a car, and her year younger brother, they have a smartphone. Well, they kind of limit them on whatever the hell, and you're not allowed to, upload TikTok, and then you get your phone taken away for a month because one of your girlfriends, made you, load it, and you got that kind of crap. Well, I haven't watched Social Dilemma, the documentary on how the youth is being targeted to get all blue face and zombie-ized. And I send it to them. I'm going, look, Papa's going to, stop bugging you about it, that toxic waste for your brain that you got here, if you watch this. So then the kids and their mother sit down and watch. Okay, that was good information. But they're always going to go for convenience. You just need to plant it in the back of their head when it actually impacts them or something's happened. I remember that Rob Braxman video about, this is what he's talking about. So being an activist for 40 years, you can see it's a decade later. It's 3 years later. It's 10 years later. It's 20 years later. But mostly now it's getting down to like 18 months later that, people are going, oh, here we go. I don't see it. It doesn't. I always go like this. I go, it won't happen all at once, but it will happen overnight. What the hell are you talking about? I'm going, you'll see the artillery, over the horizon. You'll see the policies change, the things happen in the election, to whatever, consternation in the street of whatever. And you'll go, okay, yeah, I kind of see it. And then all of a sudden it's Monday. All of a sudden it's in your front yard. All of a sudden it's happening to you. All of a sudden. So like Ernest Hemingway goes, slowly at first and then all at once. That's what's coming. And the all at once is exactly what you're talking about now. And I feel your sense of urgency of what is happening, but how will it manifest itself? My rhetoric has been it's going to be a food thing. You'll know it's happened when it's a food thing, when you can't afford it, when it's not there, when whatever, and you're replaced by a robot. I mean, this is coming. We need you to keep doing what you're doing. And the reason that I do watch your stuff and forward it and put it on the site is because of the detail, because of the show your work, because of the links, because of the actual tech that's being done. That is so important to pepper this information that other people then share, that you got 650,000 of them sharing. So I'm going, do you know what your view count is?
Yeah. It's like
it's a couple of million, a couple of tens of millions, a billion what?
A couple of million a month.
God, man, what the hell do you want? You want to be president or something? I mean, what are you looking for? This is... Well, I'm glad you're there.
It doesn't translate, man. It doesn't translate. So the universal measure in YouTube is subscriber count. So,
I care about YouTube.
Right, but it's a influencer world. It's just a measure. And fortunately, I have my own site, so I can count how many people go to my site, and then because those will be the hardcore ones if they go to our site. So and that's a growing number. So, but it's like I said, it's still a struggle. I've given up trying to convince my own relatives. I think it's a lost cause. They're not the easiest ones to convince. So,
what do you think the resistance is? Because it's a family member. Because they're not impressed with 650,000 subscribers. They what do you think it is? They're just, slaves to convenience. What do you think it is?
Yeah, well, the thing is that they don't understand the effect on their lives by going the route they're going. You don't really realize the effect of it until a crisis happens. A big example, for example, is my family members. They post their entire lives on as I call it, Zucking Zuckbook.
Right.
And they're obsessed with putting every aspect of their lives on there. But they're well-behaved people, and they're pretty honest and good people, so they don't worry about it. But then you have this population of people that start posting things on Facebook about bad things in their life. Like, it reminds me of this young college girl who started to accuse somebody of rape in public on Facebook. And then the father goes and says, cites in and argues about, how her daughter was raped, but the school did not agree and did not pursue anything. And they're debating this in public. And by the way, this girl is now married with children. Young children.
Yeah.
Now what? Yeah. Now what? What have you done to your life? You've just put a public record of something that, is this something you want to talk about in 20 years from now? It's on your Facebook permanently.
My influence on them, I was showing them, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about. So they were, more careful of what they put on. They're not, doing stupid stuff. But it's not them. I mean, one of my nieces go on her Facebook, and I'm like, who is this person? Well, it's definitely the front, what she wanted because of her professional life and whatever. And but it's not really them. And so I'm not really sure. It's just this avatar that everybody creates. And the general public opinion of you're supposed to have opinion about this or that, and the people that get sucked into that, then they become, I don't know, the flavor of the day of this person hates, this group of whatever the hell, and it ouch quit it. And I don't want that on our feed. I don't participate in the comment section. I don't look at the Facebooks. Donna does social media for the site and everything, and every now and then she'll come across, hey, somebody, well, I tried to Facebook you, and I go, well, that was your first problem right there, because I don't care, you know? So it's, I don't know what is going to replace it all. Now, X is, you know, they take away a lot of the censorship, but they still got censorship. There's so much, I don't know, this is new for humanity. And I'm glad that we have a lot of this information that now that we can access to get the truthiness of everything. And certainly I have begun starting, because we have such content and context, searching my own site, Freedom's Phoenix, with the hundreds of thousands of headlines there, more than I use Google, because they're lying to me. They delete everything. You know, that's one reason why we never did Yahoo News. You put up a Yahoo link, and it's gone within a few months or a year. Mm-hmm. It's not there anymore. And you're going, what the crap is that? So that's why we have our mid-page. When you click on the link, it goes to a mid-page where we have some of the article, the comments on our site and everything. You know, why don't I just go straight to their link? Because it always goes away. I want them to know at least it existed. It was on this site. This was the date. This is the main theme of it. Here's the graphics for it. Here's the video. And then the video would go away, which is why we started using IPFS. And I'm going, nope. Everybody was so worried about privacy, which is where you delve. I was more focused on publicity. I'm going, yeah, privacy, it's an important thing, but I'm more concerned about publicity, and then being able to see it, to find it, and not be deleted. So that's why we kind of focused on IPFS. So this is, before you go, I wanted to, not be, be such a Debbie Downer, and that, that there's positive aspect. There's abundance in the future. There's a possibility for us to be more enlightened, that the people rise up and exercise their control over their own lives and their community and so on. I don't see it tomorrow, that's for sure. But, do you see that as a possibility? Where are we trending as a species?
My gosh.
Easy question.
Yeah, I don't have answers. I mean, goodness, I'm very good at predicting tech. I just had an interview with David Bumble, who has, 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and I have a regular thing with him, and he looks at me as the predictor of tech, because my predictions on tech has always been very, very accurate. So I can predict tech. What I can't predict is what people will do. I can predict the evil they will do with tech. I'm hard pressed to tell you exactly what people will do. And this has been my struggle. So I haven't gotten the full equation here yet. So don't ask me those questions, because I don't know the answer. I try.
Well, your prediction of tech is the interface of human beings with artificial intelligence, be it Neuralink, or hell, they don't even need it anymore. They just, scan your brain or whatever. But how best to do that? How best are we going to be able to be protected? How best? Is there a way? Is there something that we should internalize? What is it?
You have to realize that in order to declare your independence, you must not tie yourself to big tech. It's really that simple. You must not tie yourself to big tech. You got to look for your own solutions. You got to look for solutions that are controlled by community, like Linux and de-Googled OSs, and open source computers and open source devices. And more of that will come up. There will always be options to segregate from the crowd. And if the crowd says, well, then you can't use such and such an app, and you're going to have to say, I don't care. And you're going to have to be independent in tech. So it's like, declare your independence in tech. That's what I push. Declare your independence in tech.
Well, we're trying to create that infrastructure for our community out here, and it's working. I mean, we're seeing the biggest press has been it's easier to convert them to using precious metals than it is crypto, because a lot of people just aren't, when they go out here to be left alone, they're not thinking, digital money or something like that, which is fine with me. I like gold backs and so on, but there is going to be a need for crypto exchanges. But this stable coin thing to the dollar, that's just stupid, and I don't see it going well, but I see the option of people coming together under a concept of freedom. Freedom's the answer. What's the question? Leave me aloneism. What's the proper role of government? Who are the good and bad guys? How do you define? And that's why they want to have all this information on us, to call those out, to lessen their reach, to be able to, we got to, if it wasn't for us, Rob Braxman would have 69 million followers. We can't have that, So it's, I'm feeling confident about the future because humanity keeps marching on. We've been through this kind of existential crap from centralized whatever since forever. I mean, hell, you just read the Bible.
When I have 10 million subscribers, I know we're making it.
I'm gonna help, because just to freaking get you a positive wave, man.
Because that means if I have 10 million subscribers, then that means the message is coming across. I'm not there yet.
You keep going. You keep going.
You go.
This is one thing I tell you. I'll leave you with this. I remember when the Free State Project started in New Hampshire, get a bunch of libertarians to move there, that kind of thing. Well, they were going, we got to it's been 5 years, we only got 5,000 out of the 20,000 that would trigger the move, and whatever, they needed 20,000 supporters. Sign up, pledge, we're going to move there. And I'm going, you guys don't get it. You keep doing what you're doing, you hammer, be principled, all that. All of a sudden, it's going to go from 6,000 to 30,000. It's going to happen overnight. When this stuff happens, you have no idea what the trigger is. You just let people know, and then there's going to be that one person won't go sit in the back of the bus, that one person won't give up their data, that one person won't answer the question, that one person, something's going to happen. Some legislation gets passed, some tyrannical effort comes, and all of a sudden, boom, well, that happened. Probably, 3 or 4 years ago, boom, it's going to happen to you. It's going to have any freedom opportunity like this. All of a sudden, it's a Ron Paul thing. Where the hell did that come from? Well, those of us that understood what to look for knew it was inevitable. It was in January of 2007. Are you really going to run and go, yeah, if we can talk to the hand. I don't want to have anything to do with the political part. I'll be Republican and that crap. I'm a hardcore anarchist. You're still voting libertarian. And we're going to show you what's going to happen. And it's going to be spontaneous order. And it happened. And no matter how many times of all the stuff locally here in Arizona, nationally, internationally, that we've done and seen the result of this kind of thing, you can't convince people that it's right on the edge of happening, especially with your family and whatever. And I'm telling you, Rob, you and I are going to have this conversation within a year or 2 or 3 from now, and I'm going to go, Neon, I freaking told you so. And all of a sudden, look forward to that day.
Yeah. Yes. People don't understand that I really believe in this. I'm not doing this for any particular reason. I should be retired and relaxed. Instead, I'm doing this. So yes.
This is your retirement.
But maybe I'm making a dent because I just came back from Paris and I made a video saying, I was in Paris, and I made a video, and then somebody said, I saw you in Paris. so I'm being to be recognized even in a different country. Okay, that's we're making a dent slowly, but we're making a dent.
And that really was encouraging for me and my wife and family and so on. When we travel a lot, there's a lot more support and recognition of our work than you would anticipate. And they'd be, one time we were traveling and we were doing the show on the road and so on, and I had stopped for repair in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I mean, I needed to, change bearings on a trailer or something. One of the listeners, They came and helped me pack. Right when I got to the point I had to pack the bearings, I was going out every commercial break and doing a little bit of work on it. He did the bearing pack. I'm like, woo! Took me to breakfast. So, these kinds of things are very encouraging. And I think my experience of doing this for decades is that you're having way more impact than I think you realize. And when you get 650,000 subscribers and you're not excited by that, I'm going, man, who is it? Your Cheerios, man. I mean, holy crap. Well, what is it that you need as encouragement? So I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And do that large language model for my site kind of research.
I'll
do that for me. Well, make sure, yeah, man, I'm all over that one. Rob, thanks for coming on. I mean, we make light of this stuff. We have fun with it because I do see the future of abundance that's possible there. And with that possibility, sooner or later, we're going to attain and reach it in some degree. But there is an evil force. And it's like a religion, literally, with these guys to get their evil, how many, babies, people, war, kills can we get for my stripes of control in the front seat in hell kind of goal they have or something. They're just weird. And I think there's way more good on this planet than there is bad. We have to be aware of it. And that is the crucial role that you have in this. And I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing out here. We're paying attention, Rob. Rob Braxman.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Where do they need to go to get all your goodie? Now, is that, YouTube, yeah, whatever, be one of the 650,000.
No, you got to go to Brax.me. So Brax.me is the community. That's where, that's where we have products and people, and, that's where you can communicate and talk to me and talk to others. Brax.me. And then we have our new phone model, which sold out. It's on Indiegogo.com. And so it's on the second batch. The first batch already sold out, which is the most
sold out of what?
Phones. It's the most successful Indiegogo phone project ever. So and it's on the second batch.
Well, give us a little bit on it. You give us a commercial for that.
Right. Just go to Indiegogo.com and search for Brax 3, and that is very, very popular. So very few companies have achieved this kind of level where they can actually come up with a phone that sells out like this. So we're very proud of that.
I have the Brax X when you first did that.
That's Brax 2.
Right. Well, I set it all up, put it in, kind of my go bag, and just kind of left it set over there. But am I already obsolete? I'm done. I need to redo something.
Yeah, Brax 3 it's actually a very nice phone. It looks like an iPhone. So in terms of
I thought it was a nice phone.
No, yeah, but a Brax 3 it looks very nice.
I'm doing it wrong. I need to get a new Brax.
Right. So and when it was first sold on Indiegogo, it was being sold for $279. You can't get it for $279 now, but we sold it for $279. For goodness sakes! I mean, where do you get a phone of that quality?
No, it was price cheap. Okay, let's go ahead and look at your Indiegogo, cause all right.
Indiegogo. There you go. Yeah.
Brax X3, the most privacy-friendly smartphone, and it looks like a phone. Couple $1,000, better freaking foot massage or something. All right, let's see. Project is now the most crowdfunded Indiegogo smartphone ever. 5,500 delivered. Man, are you a whiner? I am so. You are breaking through? Are you kidding me?
No. But we ran out because we didn't expect to sell so many so fast. So.
How are you not positive of the impact that you're having?
Well,
my goodness.
I mean, this is just one of the products, and it's just a tool, and it's I'm glad it's successful. It's because it's a needed product. Now, do you know how many phones there are? There are 4 billion phones. So let's say we sell a measly 20,000 of these per year. Well, what is that? That's nothing. So we need to get to a point where, many more users of the Google phones exist. So that's our goal.
I understand your goal. I can't look at your success in the penetration of the populace and the information that you have and the success of, at least it's profitable, I would hope. I mean, you're not losing money. And to be able to do this is you have high standards, my friend. I mean, it is, what you're looking for. This would be an enormous success of anyone in the Liberty community able to accomplish what you have, would be jumping up and down with excitement. And the fact that you're not is that you're worried about something else. Something's coming, something not addressed, something. What are you worried about?
Well, we haven't convinced that many people. Convincing, 20,000 people a year to buy a privacy phone, it's nothing. That's nothing. That's not having any impact when you still, look, I have 2 million views a month. How many of those people have a privacy phone? 2 million views a month. How many of those have a privacy phone? How many people out of the 650,000 people that subscribe to me on YouTube, and really 1 million on all social media, how many of them have a privacy phone? It tells me I'm not reaching. So yes, I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I understand your concern. I just think that it's like I keep saying, it won't happen all at once.
Right. So that's.
But it will happen overnight. And I'm waiting for the overnight.
I'm just saying that I'm not, this is why I'm not going jump up and down saying, hey, we sold a few of these and we're not losing money, so we're okay. It's
well, it goes to your character. I'm really glad that your concern, your empathy for humanity is at such a high level. It's not based on how personally you're successful, but the success for humanity against this freaking thing that we're up against. And what are we up against? I look at it, I just straight up, I'll just say, it seems like it's good versus not good. When I say freedom, good government, bad, what am I saying? It's bad people doing bad stuff, and they know it's bad. That's the definition of evil.
Yeah, it's simplified, yes.
It's evil. These guys, they're bad. They're really, 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 really bad. Well, one of the good guys, Rob Braxman. Anything else you want to leave on send people to?
That's it. Thank you. That's appreciated.
Yeah, Rob, this is awesome. I look forward to, we should do it more often, but it was, I really am, I just want to be encouraging for you to keep doing what you're doing, because for me, in my line of work and what I try and share with people and what we're actually physically building for my family out in the desert and doing and decentralization is heavily influenced by a lot of the stuff that you talk about. And I just want you to be encouraged. It's happening.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I see it happening, and all of a sudden it's Monday and it's going to explode, and you're going to be surprised, and I'm not, so I'm just saying.
Well, I look forward to that surprise someday. May not come, though. May not come.
Comes. Yeah, it's coming. It may be after, all the ashes. I mean, from the ashes of Lady Liberty's torch, freedom's phoenix. You got to have ashes, but from the ashes, humanity keeps on keeping on, and what needs to be done and what not to include in the future has been detailed by Rob Braxman. Thank you very much, Rob Braxman. Braxme.com, right?
No, Brax.me.
Okay, wait. Brax.me. There you go.
Right.
Make sure people get that right up there. And on today's archive has, some bunch of links to all his stuff and everything. Go check him out. And if you need a privacy phone, he's got upgrade. I got the not so upgrade one, but I got one.
That's 3 years ago. That's a long time ago.
Upgrade. Well, hey man, I just put it in my bug out bag, and kind of over there I got another form of communication, but I got to keep upgrading. Damn it. All right. Thanks, Rob Braxman, man.
Okay.
Peace, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye.